Try to tell them we up next, you can't stop that. This your favorite podcast. Every show is lit, baby. You know what we finna do. Slick gon' talk that slick talk, he gon' get political. Okay. Do not switch topics, niggas is toxic. Poppy shots don't always say it's something wrong, but if you don't like it, what we saying, nigga, oh well. We try to tell you, baby, this might not go well. This might not go. Hey, that's it. One take. We're not even doing it again. Keep that. That's the one.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of This Might Not Go Well. Episode 85, we in the building. You already know who it is. It's the host with the most, Brezzy, a.k.a. Poppy Sazon.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Slick Grayson. How y'all doing out there?
Okay. We know how this goes. Follow us on all social media at This Might Not Go Well. If you have any branding deals, business opportunities, please email us at thismightnotgowell@gmail.com. Episode 85, we in here. What's going on? Weekly check-ins. How you doing this week, brother?
I'm chilling, bro. Enjoying this last week of summer. Trying, make sure everything is copacetic as I get ready to go back to work. Been reading some books, trying to keep my mind sharp. Surgery healing is going pretty well, so I think I'm at probably 80%, 85%. I still can't pick nothing up for the next 3 to 6 weeks, but it's giving me a reason not to do no chores. But I'm chilling. How you feeling?
Going well. Just a little sad that the summer is, gone. And I'm feeling like what everybody else is feeling on social media. I feel like this summer went by so quick and a lot of things didn't happen, or I didn't do a lot of things. So I don't know. Maybe I'm going to try to enjoy the rest. We got into the 22nd of September until fall officially begins. So let's see what I'll try to do some other things. But let's start this show. Breaking news. Donavon Mitchell has been traded to the Cleveland Cavaliers, and RJ Barrett got his rookie extension. We talked about this last week, so Slick, take it away.
Essentially, Donavon Mitchell was traded to the Cleveland Cavaliers for Colin Sexton, Lauri Markkanen, and Ochai Agbaji, the 14th pick in this year's draft. 3 unprotected first-round picks from the Cleveland Cavaliers and 2 pick swaps, all from the drafts from 2025 through 2029. So essentially what happened here is that the Knicks refused to cave to the demands of Danny Ainge and the Utah Jazz brass. And when that happened, Cleveland came through with the picks that they were looking for, and they had some players that they were interested in. So I think this is kind of a win-win-win for all 3 units. Danny Ainge gets his draft picks and a good young player. He replaces a 6'1" scoring guard with a slightly not as good 6'1" scoring guard in Colin Sexton. The Cavaliers squad up. Them boys is nasty. What? Considering you got Evan Mobley who can guard anybody, Jared Allen, who's literally one of the most efficient centers and two-way centers in the game. Darius Garland's on the way up, and now you add a 25-plus point scorer to that mix. That's dope. The Knicks, they signed one of their rookies to a very, very $30 million is nothing to sneeze at, but a reasonable contract extension for what he's shown in his first 3 years, his market value, and they don't give up any of their assets. They don't lose here. They maintain all those draft picks they accumulated to go get a star player. And while Donavon Mitchell is a star, we wish he was a Knick. The asking price was atrocious. It was RJ Barrett, Emmanuel Quickley, Obi Toppin, 3 first-round picks unprotected, multiple pick swaps. That's too much for a 6'1" guard who, by all accounts, you're giving up 3 great young pieces. You're getting a guy who's going to give you the points, but then your backcourt is small, right? The only person that really lost in this trade is Donavon Mitchell because he ended up in Cleveland. He went from Utah to Utah of the East, which is the Cleveland Cavaliers. So a pretty strong team for him, but I'm pretty sure that's not a place he wants to live. But he's on the East Coast, probably closer to family. What's that drive from Cleveland to New York? 11 hours? He'll be all right. He got 3 years left on his deal. So at 28, he'll be a free agent if he really wants to be a Knick. The Knicks will have some cap space coming up around that time. They'll have some contracts they can move around if need be. So who knows? Maybe we get Donavon Mitchell in the next couple of years. But until then, it's all good on my end. How you feel about it?
Ah, man. As a Knicks fan, sometimes I don't understand what the Knicks be doing sometimes. We be drafting niggas that don't do shit for us but go to other teams and do well. We never go after a superstar. I don't know, man. I just have to see what's the final game plan with the Knicks. We got Brunson RJ, and Julius, on paper, we should at least get into the play-in. That should be a minimum given the Eastern Conference. But being a Knicks fan, bro, it's so hard. It's so hard because you want to have good faith. Because like last year, we was doing so well. Kemba started fucking up. Julius Randle got into his head, started disrespecting the crowd. And then we just kind of fell apart towards the end. So it's like, as a Knicks fan, you can't even have high hopes because you kind of scared that niggas might disappoint you.
That's facts. I hear you. But I think, too, like, as a fan, can't you take solace? I mean, I know everybody's like, we never draft high enough to get one of those, all-time Luka, Trae Young kind of guys. Joel Embiid, we don't get those picks. The one time we had to pick was RJ. He's a good player, but we missed out on Garland. We missed out on Zion, Ja Morant, and Darius Garland. I mean, we still got time for RJ. Sometimes wings take a while to develop if you're not super athletic. And then, two, do we think Donavon Mitchell is going to win us a championship?
But I can't agree with that because we had chances to draft people high, and we draft Porzingis.
Let's not do that.
We draft some bullshit as draft picks.
But we were fourth.
Niggas that benefited off of our mistakes.
But we drafted fourth at a time where it was like Joel and who was that? That was that was D'Angelo Russell, Karl Anthony Towns, Jahlil Okafor, right? If we'd have got Jahlil Okafor, we'd have been even more mad. And Cat,
we don't play defense like that, so we should be.
And let's be honest, a lot of those are shitty years. Well, we've had a lot of shitty years. Management had drafted and traded picks for players that never panned out, or they were great till they became Knicks. There's a trend of players coming to the Knicks and just falling off a cliff because they can't handle living in New York. And then also, not saying that would happen to Donavon Mitchell, but if Donavon Mitchell was 6'6", 6'5", I think this is a no-brainer because like he has the size requisite to do some great things on the court. He's 6'1". You know who else is 6'1"? Kemba Walker. And and Donavon Mitchell's game, as good a shooter as he is, depends on his athleticism. His game depends on athleticism, not so much running and jumping, but the elevation he got on his jump shot and his speed. Kemba Walker. Donavon Mitchell, for the next 3 years of this deal, he might be solid, but historically, small guards tend to fall off a cliff a lot faster. Small athletic guards. You look at a guy like Chris Paul, he's an exception to the rule because he's 6'1", 6'2", maybe on a good day, but he also has control of the ball. He's a great assister. He plays defense. He compensated when he lost athleticism. A lot of these other small guards can't do that. If you're a scorer, that's the one thing the NBA can always find. You can always find more scorers. So I'm not totally heartbroken about this. If it was like, if it was the kid from OKC, Shai Gilgeous, I'd be crying right now. That boy is nasty.
You would go after him than Donavon?
I'll tell you why. I think he's 2 years younger. He's about 5 inches taller. And he's always in control. He could play either guard spot. You put a 6'5" Shai Gilgeous between RJ Barrett and Jalen Brunson, that's pick your poison. He's one of the more efficient guards in the NBA. We just don't get to appreciate it because he plays in OKC. But that boy is a problem. I'll take Shai Gilgeous over Donavon Mitchell. Because like I said, his game, I think, will age better. Donavon Mitchell is one bad knee injury away, and a lot of players are this, but he's one bad knee injury away from just being, who can I compare him to? Somebody that can score, from being Jordan Clarkson.
But Jordan Clarkson is doing well.
He's doing well. Hey, Jordan, would you trade 3 first-round picks and some young players for Jordan Clarkson?
He's basically like a J.R. Smith. So
would you trade 3 first-round picks for J.R. Smith?
Which one? We got them Nuggets, J.R. Smith?
No, nigga. That's my point. I think that if you make one of those big superstars, like Cleveland is straight. If something happens where Donavon Mitchell is their 4th best player, that's fine because 2 of their top 4 players are younger than him. So there's a chance Evan Mobley is going to be better than him. Darius Garland, by and large, playing the point guard is more valuable than him to me, right? All he has to focus on right now is scoring and not.
I ain't gonna lie, Darius Garland got Saxon the fuck out of here because it was supposed to be Saxon team, and then Garland came and just basically took everything from
But
that
think
nigga.
about that. Donavon Mitchell, a 6'1" shooting guard, got traded for essentially Colin Sexton, another 6'1" shooting guard. And what were they trying to pay Colin Sexton? $8 million a year. He lucked out and got 18. But it's like, as the one thing these kids coming to the league knowing how to do is score. There will be another Donavon Mitchell. Not saying the Knicks will get him, but there will be opportunities. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
If it was like a Shea Gilgeous or who else? Who would be somebody that would look good in a Knicks uniform? I'm not even trying to do like the Lucas. Like those is like once in a generation plays. But guys that like a DeJounte Murray, guys like that who you could say, all right, late round picks. Those are guys. Shea Gilgeous was the 13th pick in the draft. Freaking what's his name? I just said his name too. DeJounte Murray, he was the 29th pick in the first round. Kevin Porter Jr., 30th pick of the first round. These guys are out there. It's just on scouting to find them. Donavon Mitchell, 14th pick of the first round. Or 13th pick, something like that, right? So it's like the Knicks are in position to find these players. And I'd rather draft one and develop them or, find one than have to pay them when they're maxed out and potentially got some wear and tear on their body. But
all right. I really got to see. I feel like this upcoming NBA season, especially now, I ain't gonna lie, I might have to get 2K
23
off the release of that J. Cole cover. I might actually have to purchase the physical copy, bro.
Oh no, I seen that. That shit fire. I feel like I'm gonna wait till October because I know it's gonna go on sale. Or Black Friday will be 50% off. I'll just buy the Legends Edition on Black Friday. I paid the $60 at that point. I'm not falling for the scams no more. I'm mad. I paid $46 for mine, and then it was like $30 a week later. I was pissed.
Oh yeah, it was low. It was lower than that. At one point, it was $19.
Oh shit! Fuck, you know damn well I'm gonna wait that bitch out. I can still play 2K22.
Because you know what you gonna call it. After the holidays, nobody really fucks with 2K anymore because all the tryhards done fucking fucked up the whole park and everything.
That's a fact. The niggas that they make that's crazy. Shorty dad looked me in the face when I was playing Cold. She's like, "Why don't you make no money for this?" I was like, "Babe, I'm not that good." First of all,
wait, nah. I would have flicked her because she disrespected you, partner.
Nah,
you over here, Monty.
Yeah, she dead shot at me. She dead shot at me. But I was just like, yo. That's the funny part about the generation we live in right now. Like, you could literally make money just playing video games. I was watching The Shy, and one of the main characters, Kev, was in an underground gaming league making bank. Like, making thousands of dollars. His mother saw that money in his drawings, thought he was selling drugs. He told her the truth, and she blacked on him. I was like, look at here. Now you're going to make your son sell drugs and hide his money. Look, because now you can really get some bread outside, literally just playing games. Like, literally, the same shit we doing right now, recording this podcast, could be monetized. You can make money in the crib.
That's a fact. The Twitch, what? I remember T Grizzly is making a couple 6 figures a month off of this shit. Just playing GTA. Like, what? Most YouTubers Twitch on the side. I'm like, yo, I don't understand. People really enjoy watching other people play games. I feel like they they're connected to you. They kind of like it. It's a weird environment. If you had told me as a kid, especially gaming overall, gaming and anime. If you had told me gaming and anime would have become popular as it is now, I would look at you stupid. Because
I'd have been rich.
Because one thing about anime, this was off the docket, but one thing about anime, I kind of hate all you anime likers now because you wasn't back. Y'all niggas wasn't back then where niggas used to get clowned for watching anime. The only shit you could have really said to niggas is Dragon Ball Z.
That's a fact.
That's the only thing you could have said.
Maybe Pokemon if you had the Game Boy with you when y'all was playing in the lunchroom. You can get Yu-Gi-Oh! For a little bit. If it had a card game or something competitive, you can get it off. But
yeah, niggas used to get robbed for their Yu-Gi-Oh! Because niggas was selling that shit like hotcakes.
OD.
But anime, you used to get clowned for watching anime. But now, that's like literally even like the girls is on that shit heavy. Women are on anime heavy. Or even the thug niggas is gangbanging by watching Naruto. I'm watching a lot of rap battles. Niggas having Naruto bars, Vegeta bars, Final Flash attack. I'm like, since when y'all niggas? And it got integrated in black culture crazy. Like, look at Megan Thee Stallion, the Sailor Moon shit that she wore in her Tokyo performance.
She was twerking. I was like, Sailor Moon never looked like this.
So yeah, we'll do a more deep dive maybe on our Patreon. But this is the topic that I really want to talk about this episode because oh my god, this Patreon exclusive episode of the Joe Budden podcast when they confronted the No Jumper founder Adam 22 about reposting content of Kevin Samuel and how he is monetizing off of Black trauma. Bro, I don't even know where to begin. Did you see it? Did you see a little clip?
I didn't see it. I've seen some of the clips. Like, I don't fuck with Adam 22.
They just posted a full episode on their YouTube page today, so they only dropped clips so far.
Yeah, I've seen some clips, but I'm like, I don't fuck with Adam 22. He's literally the male equivalent of Yes Jules to me. And what I mean by that is that as a white person, you come into black spaces because it's the cool thing to do and kind of make it like your persona. You make it kind of like you're monetizing, you're building your brand of shit you know nothing about. This doesn't, our culture doesn't concern you. I don't fuck with it.
Oh, I gotta disagree with you.
You always disagree with me, but it's the truth. It's the truth.
It's not the truth. He's not. I don't know because I want to safely unpack this. He is not monetizing off of Black trauma. First of all, he's actually given a lot to the culture of today, not to hip hop per se, but he didn't get into hip hop. He started off as a BMX owner of the come up, and then he started a lot of BMX. A lot of rappers was into BMX, which I'm shocked by, like Playboy Cardi, Lil Uzi,
all the weird niggas. All the weird
niggas. They was into BMX, so they used to come to his shop, and he built a relationship with them, and then he started doing a podcast with them. And he was very good friends with XXXTentacion. So what him and XXXTentacion used to do, used to travel around, and XXXTentacion was good with Little Pump, and then they got good with Little Pump, Smoke Perp, and they was doing a whole underground rap scene until all them niggas blowed up, and then that's what got him his start in the No Jumper case and start building his brand. So I can't really call him a culture vulture or put the label of Yes Jules on him because he was literally helping people out, and he was also within the culture, learn stuff, and he's been a big fan of it, and he's lived in New York. He understands it, and he pays attention. And also on his platform, he employs a lot of people of the culture, a lot of people, and on the No Jump, because everybody thinks of No Jumper as just his podcast. No, on the No Jumper network, there is like close to 10 shows. Majority run by Black folks and a couple of Hispanic folks. And they talk about everything. And he's not to me, he's not a DJ Vlad when he's asking federal questions, even though I don't think Vlad asks federal questions, but he's asking questions that the fans are asking. And my point against the Joe Budden stuff is, when are we going to have accountability? Because they talked about the FBG Cash situation. FBG Cash passed away recently. But I can't fault him for asking questions about Lil Durk because FBG Cash is making songs about Lil Durk. They've been publicly beefing over 10 years. And FBG Cash and FBG Duck been doing interviews since 2012. So it's not something that they easily get manipulated to into talking about. They thrive off of this. So for Joe to confront him, especially on the Kevin Samuels, because now we just go to Kevin Samuels real quick. He hated that Adam 22 released the clips of an interview that was already published once Kevin Samuels passed away. And he said that you're monetizing off of this man's death. And I was like, no, this interview already been out. Everybody posts clips of the person when the person dies. It's sort of like radio when a rapper dies. They play nothing but their music at that time. So for Joe to sit here and confront him on that and say that, yo, you're like monetizing off of Black trauma, I highly disagree. Now I can understand if he posts Kevin Samuels off of Negative Light, off a video off an interview that they never published before, just to get some cash grab stuff. But this interview already been out, and he's just posting clips of it, which he at the time when he released the interview, he didn't have a clips channel. Now he does have a clips channel. That's something that belongs in the YouTube trends. When you build enough of a brand of your channel, you make a clips channel. So where a lot of people don't like watching podcasts episodes. Now, if we was big enough, we would do a clips channel ourselves if our platform was big. But that's what the YouTube trend is, especially for people who does podcasts. They have their official podcast page, and then they have a clips page where they post nothing but clips that which draw in the fans. And I guess Joe kind of disagree with that. But I'll let you talk because I've been talking for a good minute.
I mean, like I said, I'm just not the biggest fan of Adam 22. I feel like a lot of our, I mean, I guess since you put how he came up with, that's cool. I give him that. But I just, again, keep the white folks away from the culture. That's just my thought process on it. 100% of my thought process on it, because I'm like, it's a lot of people. It's like my Eminem theory. It's a lot of people that can do what you do that don't get that same love. But I mean, if it was already posted, there's nothing wrong with reposting it, because it's not like a lot of other people weren't still clipping some of the stuff that he said and still posting. And him actually having a published interview before change the circumstance. And we always know this. Joe Budden every once in a while doesn't take his medicine and blacks on somebody for something that's entirely plausible. It's okay.
It was nasty. It was basically 4-on-1. I applaud him just alone for standing his ground against 4-against-1.
Yeah, I mean, but he's in their space. What he going to do? Fight? You going to fight niggas on their platform? And also, too, it's like, yo, at the same point, it's like, when you think about the amount of, I guess, hate and vitriol that Kevin Samuels elicited from certain people, he probably just felt like it wasn't the time. Like, give it some time, like, or just revisit. But I think I did see he made a point, like, these are questions people want to know. These things people wanted to see. They were already out. It was already out. I just clipped it together so that they could see more of it. Like, there's arguments made on both ends. That's why I'm kind of like, I just stay away from it.
Yeah, because you know when someone dies, if someone that you didn't know of, like, who was a rapper that recently passed?
All the niggas you talk about on this podcast.
I'm like Jada Youngin. I have known of Jada Youngin, especially because I listen to Youngin Ace and Fredo Bang. Because you know Fredo Bang is my guy.
Yeah, Fredo's
I
dope.
fuck with his music. So I have heard some songs of him, but after he passed away, guess what I did? I looked up some of his songs. I looked up some in the interview to see what type of person. It's sort of the same thing, because like for Kevin Samuels, especially a guy who trend on Twitter a lot of people probably was like, yo, why is this old nigga trending for? So, you know, what's the natural thing? You go look him up. So I think him putting the clips actually helps Kevin Samuel's case and supporting his message. Because one of the things that Kevin Samuel always talked about is what he does and what his YouTube is to help spread a message. And you might disagree. I'm not saying he, once again, I have to say this because you know they're gonna come for me about hating black women when you like Kevin Samuel.
They think you hate black women, bro. I don't know if it's nothing you can say.
Hey, once again, I do not agree with every idea of Kevin Samuels. You know, there's some parts that you can take, whether that's you want to take it or not. But one of his goals was to spread his message around. So him reposting the clip actually helps with sort of the dream of Kevin Samuels of having this and allowing people to fully understand him without, because if you're somebody who just looked on Twitter, you would have thought the whole world hated Kevin Samuels.
That's because Twitter is ran by 90% women.
Yeah. So now you go on YouTube, you realize, oh shit, wait, he actually had a following. Oh wait, niggas actually fuck with his idea. He was doing that. So for Joe Budden to get at him, and thing about Joe Budden, which I don't like about what Joe Budden does sometimes, is if it's not the way he handles things, he doesn't agree with it or he doesn't understand it.
That's true.
Because he made a point where, like, yo, we invited Maxo Cream. If you don't know, he's a Texas rapper. He's a Texas Crip rapper, and we know he had beef with this rapper. We didn't ask him that question. All right, that's good for you. You're old nigga. You in your 40s, and you have two 40-year-old niggas next to you. That's something that you might not be into. But Adam is with the young crowd. His platform is dedicated to younger folks. It always has been since he been hanging with XXXTentacion. All them niggas have them questions that going to ask. Now, Maxo Cream or a lot of rapper like FBG Cash can make the conscious awareness of not answering that question. And it shows that Joe Budden never really listened to the No Jumper platform, because there have been gangster rappers, especially from LA and other places, who decline questions, and Adam 22 don't press on like DJ Vlad. He let it go, and he's not as messy. And there's a lot of thing about it too, is Joe Budden just went off of a
clip.
Off of clips, and thumbnails and stuff without actually looking at what he does on his platform. If you look at what Adam 22 does on his platform, you wouldn't call him traumatizing off of black. You wouldn't call him monetizing off of black trauma of what he does on his platform. Because he has shows he put on rappers on there. He has T-Rail, he has AD.
That's a fat singing nigga, right? T-Rail.
Yeah.
I mean, he probably does. That's the fat.
T-Rail is a nigga that has, he's a little crippled,
Oh, he was. I thought
he a Hoover nigga, but it's yeah. But I just say I was highly disappointed in the Joe Budden podcast and how they handled that whole interview, and I just felt like they didn't really do enough research, and they kind of had energy for other people, and they kind of all directed it towards Adam 22, and I felt like Adam 22 doesn't deserve all that smoke. So that was my whole synopsis on that.
No, I get that. I think too, it's also different eras, like you said. The younger, I think they probably wanted more media responsibility. I guess not, and this probably was misplaced. They probably just prescribed like this. I guess this renegade reporting to him, and it's not really an Adam 22 thing. But I guess for his crowd, they do want to know some wild shit that probably is not. What's the word I'm looking for? Probably not kosher to be asking other questions, So I'll give him that.
But my question for you, Slick, is: do these rappers have any accountability of what they put in their music?
Absolutely not. But that's how they make their bread. And I guess that goes to Adam 22 as well. That's how he makes his money. But as also like
because they talk about the FBG Cash and FBG Doug. If you listen to their music, not all their music is about this and dead dudes, but at least for FBG Cash before he passed away, and he even passed away off of some gang stuff. He passed away off of conflict with a nigga's girl and shit like that. So it wasn't even typically a gangbanger that a rival op that got to him. So that's different for most cases. But like these rappers are smoking deads. If you listen to New York drill rapper music, these niggas are smoking niggas deads in all their songs. Or is the interviewer not supposed to ask nothing regarding the music and what's the music saying?
I guess there's a way to go about it, but yeah, they are. You're supposed to ask the questions. You gotta ask the tough ones.
If your favorite song is Smoking Tuka, what the interviewer is supposed to say? Yeah, I see in your lyrics you're dissing this person. You saying it in your tracks. You relish in that moment. And for veteran rappers who've been in the game, especially from Chicago, they've been talking about this for over a decade. There's some level of accountability that rappers have to take about this, and you can't necessarily blame it on media such as Adam 22 and DJ Academics.
It's true. They're getting popularity in their own town. So you're right.
I went on a whole stupid rant. But what's your thoughts on the DJ Khaled album?
I think the tweet was perfect when they said this DJ Khaled is the Fast and the Furious of hip hop right now, just putting out projects that nobody asked for. And I think that I look at his music the way I look at the Fast and the Furious. I'm going with no expectations, so that when something is good, I'm mildly surprised. And when something is wild, I'm like, oh, well, I didn't really care that much anyway. It's not like I'm not emotionally invested in his music. But this was a solid album. That whole verse was not overhyped. It was a good verse. I think normally when a Khaled album, I probably have like 4 or 5 songs I like. So far, I think the album was well constructed. I mean, it's at least going to get a couple more spins. Probably, I didn't like the Jamaican song. I'm not going to lie. Maybe that's because I'm American. But I didn't like it. Like, it came on, I looked at Shorty, I was like, yeah, turn that shit off. Let's go next. But it was a solid outing. He puts, you know what my favorite shit on that shit is? It's the shit with Kodak and Nardo Wick. That's my shit, boy.
What?
That's my shit. That shit come on. I'm like, all right, I can fuck with this. But that whole verse was solid.
Lil Durk had probably one of the verses of the year on that shit.
You said that about Lil Durk verse every 3 weeks, bro.
Lil Durk is that nigga.
Yeah, all right. I don't want to get shot. But yeah, no, I enjoyed it. It was cool. Like I said, it's like how I watched Fast 9 or whatever the last Fast series was. I waited till that shit came on streaming. I was in a moment when I ain't had shit to do. I watched it. I laughed. I enjoyed it. I was like, well, that shit would never happen. And I called it a day. I never had to go back to it. So I'm probably do the same with this. I'm going to bump this for a little while. Probably keep the same 3 songs in about a month and then move on to when he drops another one next year.
I agree with you. I wasn't too excited for this album. I know everybody's going crazy off the Jay-Z verse. We're going to talk about it. But this was really a typical DJ Khaled album. If you listen to the last couple albums he had, he always have a one Jamaican song. He always have one Jamaican song. He's going to have at least one or two girl tracks. He's going to have a street nigga track, and then he's going to have someone talk their shit. But I want to give him credit because when the rappers get on the DJ Khaled shit, they don't play. They don't play, and especially a rapper like Jay-Z rising up to the occasion like that to really.
He ain't do it on that Nas track last album.
Really shit on niggas. Woo!
He ain't do it on that last track he did with him and Nas, that overhyped shit.
Don't do that.
But that's the thing with Khaled is like. Khaled gets you more hype for the names on the most of his projects since his first like initial 2 or 3. He'll get you hype for the names on the project, and then the song be mediocre. I think the fact that he didn't do the full rollout shit he normally do, he just kind of like, oh, the vocals is in, and then the album's coming out a week later. It's like, all right, nobody had a chance to get overhyped. It's like all right, nigga, we know he's like that annoying cousin who sometimes he be on some bullshit, but then every once in a while he take you to a lit ass event. And you be like, oh, okay, my nigga, I didn't expect it this time. I had fun this time. Like that's real shit. That's who Khaled is. So you can enjoy that shit a little bit. That's why I said this one. I was like, I felt like there wasn't any lazy composition in this album. If that makes sense. I feel like sometimes it's like you look at the names like, oh, that's what these niggas did. You got Travis Scott and Nas in the song, but this is the best they could do. Or you just gave them the beat and said, here, this all you had in the budget. This was like, all right, y'all, come through. I need an outing. I need a number one. Hopefully he gets it. Because I remember when Tyler beat him, he was tight. That nigga had billboards in Manhattan and shit to come out second.
So I think he's gonna do well. What you thought about the Jay-Z verse? That shit had the internet.
I played it twice.
Oh, fire!
I think it's been a while since we heard Hov talk shit. Last time Hov really got into his bag and his pocket was 444. You know, his other projects was definitely him and Wifey, so he wasn't so much in his bag or, sporadic features. The J Electronica joint, it was cool until it wasn't. Not like it was a good album, but like it fizzled out of our consciousness really quickly. I think 444 is the last time we really heard Hov talk his shit. And it just reminds you like, yo, Hov is that man. Don't let like all the money and everything. He get in that booth and he's motivated. He's Jordan. He's Jordan.
I ain't gonna hold you. He really shitted on that shit. And the thing about what I love about Hov is how he flex on niggas. His flex is different. You know how some niggas be talking about, oh, my wrist, my chain. Nigga, he's like, yo, I made 3 fucking billionaires, but I'm the first one. Like, how you get that shit off, bro?
Nigga address beef like I got nigga out of jail. We can never be at odds. Like that's some gangster shit.
Meek, you forever his son, Meek. I don't care what the hell else you do in your career. You forever that nigga's son after that ball bit. And I don't think Meek minds that.
I don't think it was even really a diss. It was just like, yo, and like the internet was like, yo, something wrong with you and Meek. Like, nah, nigga, I got him out of jail. There's nothing that we can ever be like. There's no disrespect he can send my way. There's no no malice coming from like we did that. Like, that's real grown man shit. That's how you handle business. Like, I'm going to do for you. You don't owe it to me to stay by my side. And if you don't, keep it cordial, nigga. Like, I'm cool.
Now you might disagree with me with this little small hot take. I think this verse had a little shot at Drake.
Probably did. They always take shots at each other on their respective songs.
Because you remember what Nicki Minaj was saying about Drake being a billionaire, possibly being a billionaire previously in like one of her stories. I think my boy, we gotta really do a deep dive one of these days against Jay-Z and Drake. Like, is the competitiveness, but they constantly they show each other love too. So it's kind of like crazy because like every time Drake has an album, Hov always jumps on it, and he doesn't really jump on a lot of people's shit.
He don't even jump on Kanye shit though. He's on jail, but
yeah. So for him to go on that and do what he doesn't, but still kind of throw a little shots. But and don't get me wrong, Drake is gonna come out with some shit throwing shit too. I just love the little competitive battle that they have. But Hov is that nigga.
Absolutely, we can
now. Speaking on music, what you thought about the whole FN Meka the AI artist that Capitol Records had.
Now you know damn well I saw that shit and then scrolled right past it. I did not give a fuck.
What did niggas thought about creating an artificial human, having him saying nigga and doing all this, looking like 6ix9ine, a little pump, got it together? What they thought the public was going like? Yo, I'm starting to really think that them niggas really starting to think that we slow as people.
I don't think that. I think that with all the talk,
They really thought that they could get that shit over us, bro.
But I think all the talk of the metaverse, I think all the talk about things going digital, I think all the avatar shit, I think that was just like in a boardroom, I can see how it makes sense. We're gonna put together this digital artist, strictly put out his stuff as NFTs, strictly, you know. I think that the delivery, a little light skinned white boy with dreadlocks and face tattoos saying nigga, that's the part where they probably should have been like, ooh.
Hold on, let's bring this back. Let's really think about this.
So it's like that shit gonna make it, because all it takes is one. It's a cracker saying nigga. Never mind. That's all it takes for one person to turn that shit sideways. But it's also like the idea is there. It's not gonna be the last one we see. I guarantee. You know what? It's gonna come back as a singer. That's gonna be the next virtual artificial intelligent art thing. And it wasn't even AI. It was somebody doing the voice and rapping and shit. So like AI is like that shit's coming up with its own shit.
So that makes it even worse to me, bro. It's because like, yo, what do you really think about hip hop? That you can dress up this way, do all of this,
but then
they nigga and rap the way, and you waste a good Gunna verse too. That's why I'm kind of mostly upset, because Gunna really floated on that track. And now Capitol Records is deleting that shit all across the board now.
Yeah, I mean, but then you also got to kind of just look at it like hip hop is a commodity to these businesses. And Tink said it best. Tink said, if you want to break an R&B record, you need $500,000. For a hip hop record, you need $300 in a SoundCloud account. Buy the beat, get the licensing, mix it down on whatever audio program on your MacBook, your high-end MacBook, and put it out. Right? So hip hop is low cost up front for high profits on the back end. Sometimes immediately, right? So if you're telling me now I don't even got to pay an artist, I can literally have somebody code me up or make a video game avatar, and this way I control everything. I mean, I'm not even really paying for like clothes. The budget doesn't go to anything, so I'm getting the budget for myself, where I'm just paying somebody to code this shit out and then make the music. Man, that's easy pickings. Which is why I said this isn't the last time we're going to see one. They're going to figure out, you know what it is? They're going to do it. They're going to put it in something like Fortnite or one of those video games where, like, you know, or like, I don't want to say Sims, but like one of those like metaverse joints where people are really going to be locked in, and you're going to start seeing people coming out with dropping their SoundCloud music as virtual avatars.
But that's crazy to me. But that's really what life we about to live in a few years.
Well, think about it. Before this market realignment, how much money was in crypto? Crypto isn't real physical money. That's digital currency that had value. How many people were millionaires off of Ethereum and Bitcoin? Think about that. This is not realistic money. Well, it's not physical. Like, it's like you transfer that stuff into it. They're just simply transferring music and art into a virtual avatar, and we're going to market it that way. And I guarantee you, once they figure out the right mix of what they could they allow people to customize what that artist looks like, they're going to make a lot of fucking money. So they were the first. They won't be the last.
Oh, man. Well, I hope it's the last for a while now, because this is kind of like, and also he's still going off too. If you look on his YouTube page, he's still releasing more stuff on it, just like portraying a gangster, and I'm just like, yo, this is really giving me 6ix9ine type of vibes.
Oh, the guy that was doing the voice?
Yeah.
I mean,
he's not letting go. He's actually not he's dissing Capital. And I'm just like, bro. And then he also claiming that they didn't pay him. So he even claiming the whole, you know how the rappers be talking about the labels gonna give them shit and be robbing them. He even portraying that shit. But I'm like, bro, what you thought, nigga? You released your track and they got backlash. You think them niggas was gonna still pay you for your shit?
Absolutely. I mean, he did a survey. He should get something, but he ain't gonna get what he thought he supposed. He knew that. He thought that shit was fire. He thought he was about to eat. Nah, bro. It's a clip. He got
a cat. Now, what's your thoughts on Stacey Dash finding out DMX died a year later?
Stacey Dash has not been a part of the black community in about 10 years. So the fact that even if this wasn't a clout, if she really genuinely didn't know, it doesn't surprise me. How many white people do you think know DMX passed away? How do white people think know who DMX is?
Come on now. We spent a couple white parties. You know they go crazy for stuff. They go crazy for up in here.
Yeah.
Y'all gonna make me.
I've been an all white function. I haven't been to one in a long time. But I'm saying there are white conservatives who probably can't do they know his music. They don't know he's dead.
Yeah.
They ain't give a fuck. So the fact that Stacey Dash has been on her conservative bullshit, like I said,
they did something together, right? Either a movie or a show or something.
I'm not sure at all, but I literally was not surprised when she said that. I was like, oh, you was in a sunken place. You would never know that DMX passed away because Fox News didn't talk about it.
My girl is sober now. Shout out to her now. You feel me? I still love Stacey Dash. Clueless, bro.
That bitch is a sellout. Fuck her.
Come on, Kanye West.
Yeah, her nipples in
West
the whole
video.
Yes, I remember.
Stacey Dash forever for have a heart in my system. You know, come on.
Nigga, sometimes a pretty face don't equal a good person. That's how I realized it. And Stacey Dash has made some very questionable personal decisions.
She's 6 years and 1 month clean.
What that got to do with her being an asshole or being dumb? Why do I care? I'm sorry. I'm really on that type of time. Like, you're just a shitty person. I don't got time for you. Like, I don't give a fuck what you're going through in your life. Like, I don't wish bad on you, but it's also like, all right, nigga. Like, that shit really didn't move me. I was like, oh, well, a lot of middle-aged white women don't know DMX passed away, and it's sad. But it's like he didn't mean as much to them as he meant to us.
Yeah.
Once he stopped making hit records for them, white people didn't care no more. It was a moment in time. I'm pretty sure there's some white people black people love white people. I lied. All the people,
niggas go crazy off of Barbra Streisand or some shit like that.
If a famous white person died, niggas be sad. So I can't front.
Now Nick Cannon is having a new baby. Now, the reason why I put this on the docket is, why do motherfuckers care about him impregnating a lot? Because it's one of the baby mamas that he already have.
Because it's not conventional.
Why do niggas care about what he's doing?
Because it's not conventional, and it's a lot of times it's easier to point out something that unconventional that someone else does and what's going on in your life. It's social media. It's a topic.
Bro, the thing about it is these women. It's not these women are blind to him having other kids. They're actively having the kids with him. So
and he spent the block on a couple, didn't he?
Yeah,
like 2 or 3.
Because this one that he's having a baby one, he had twins with this one.
All right,
so he making a lot more women.
He got 3 with her. He got 2 with Mariah. That's twins. Another one he has 2 with, right?
Yeah.
So look,
no. I think he only have 2 sets of twins.
Oh, I'm talking about like 2 children.
Yeah.
I'm saying like he doesn't have another baby mother where he has 2 separate children with, not twins.
I believe so.
So look, that's what 3 baby mamas, 4 baby mamas, and then what he got like 3 more out there. He's famous. How many famous people that? If you go on some people's Wikipedia pages and see how many fucking kids they have,
come on now. And it's not like he financially can't help them niggas. Now what I do kind of agree with some of Twitter is, when they grow up, how is he going to manage attending a whole bunch of shit though? Because them little niggas be having fucking games and debates and all that.
I don't think you put them all in the same school.
Given how Nick is a workaholic, I don't know how you gonna make time for that.
Put them niggas all in the same school. Just get the same schedule. You gotta pick up one. You gotta pick up all 10 of them motherfuckers. It's fine.
That's the only thing I would kind of agree is like, hey, are you gonna really be? Because I feel like he would be a great father, but it's just after a while you got fucking 10 kids, bro. Like,
but then it's like
it ain't about having time. It's like, nigga, I don't think there's enough time for you to interact.
I mean, but whose father went to all day shit? I think my father only showed up to graduations and basketball games. If I'm being honest, that's sad. That sounds sad, but that's
typical. That's typical.
I'm pretty sure he missed a couple graduations. Now that I think about it, or he was late to a few. So, like at that point, who cares?
Yeah, my papa's only been to graduation. He barely went to any of my games or anything.
I would say I didn't invite the nigga to much else, so it's okay.
Yeah.
And your dad, Nick Cannon, they don't know that a lot of the world see your father as corny. I'll fuck with the guy, but so they be okay. Like, your dad's corny. It's fine. He's a rich bitch.
Yeah, the fuck 16, I'm getting a fucking Lambo. Like, what the fuck you getting at age 16? You feel me?
I just watched that movie he did with Chris Brown and she bullshit. Nick Cannon pretending to be an elite basketball player was the funniest shit I ever seen in my life. That you could tell from his movements that nigga trash.
Yo, I ain't gonna lie. Nick is like probably the most corniest but uncorny nigga in the industry because he's not corny, but some of the shit that he has done in his career is corny. You get what I mean?
I think it's more so white humor. I think he realized where the bag is at. If you can make white people laugh and feel safe, you good. Because think about it.
But I can never question. Nick numbers, his jerseys in the rafters.
This nigga been on TV since he was 14. Like
he always got a bag.
Always got a shit. He always got multiple shows.
He always had the women.
And think about the people he's put on. Like he gave Cat a platform. He gave fucking Mikey Day a platform. Like all these guys from the original Wild 'N Out is big time players in the comedy market. And now he got 85 South. Justina Valentine, like all these people, he put Pretty V on. He's taking the battle rappers, the Instagram people, and giving them a platform, and they're putting on. He gave them the ball, and they're running with it. So
exactly. So Nick is good in my book.
Absolutely.
Now, it's been going crazy in the media now, man. Slick, you a Munch?
Don't fucking curse at me.
Yo, now everybody's been going crazy off of this new Ice Spice song, Munch. You want to play a little quick snippet?
Sure.
The chorus makes up the whole song, but I don't know. I don't like girls calling me a damn munch out here. Come on. Now.
What does that mean? You're not elaborating for the uninformed like myself.
Oh, so a munch is a nigga who. Okay, so this is different now. There's two meanings. So it could just mean a nigga who just eating pussy. But it also could be disrespectful as a nigga who just only eats pussy and don't even fuck or anything like that.
What the fuck does that mean? He only eats
pussy? Yo, I'm gonna link this shorty
to eat her pussy and that's it.
I'm just gonna eat her pussy and just I'm good off of that. I'm good. Like
that on.
I don't want no head. I don't want the box or anything.
I don't want. Wait, what?
That's a lot of connotation of being a munch.
That's what these kids are doing nowadays.
Niggas just eating the box and
I'm not saying that niggas can't. You like a man can eat pussy for enjoyment, but like I'm on call to eat pussy and go home. Like I chose this life.
Yeah, you just called. But to be honest with you, I ain't gonna hold you. I heard a lot about you niggas out here. A lot of y'all niggas been munching for a long time, eating because a lot of niggas back in the days was like, yo, let me just eat it and think they can fuck the chick after, and she was like, nah, I'm good. I nutted. I don't know how I feel
like that's if a girl get that off, that's fine. But I feel like it's so dangerous because niggas can't take rejection. That's why I'm like, don't put yourself in that situation, mama. I like, yeah, especially now with the song too. She call you a munch. She's like, thanks, munch. Yeah, nigga might punch you in your face. That's dangerous. That's wild. Like not me, but I'm just saying like that's crazy. I get it, but
no,
I'm glad.
You really sitting here eating a box just to eat the box? That's like,
but that's like if it's your shorty, that's different. But it's like you just
that's different. Yeah,
like you eat miscellaneous coochie and then, like what? Like yo, let me go home and eat that.
So what I realized, and we got to shit on the fellas a little bit. Yo, niggas really do anything to get with shorty, bro.
Oh yeah, it's definitely some black niggas that's eating bad bitch pussy for the fun of it.
Because I remember the trend on TikTok when like shorties was posting like the beginning messages of them and their significant others, and the game that niggas was throwing, like you really thought niggas really was smooth and suave. Like no, niggas is practically begging shorties to fuck with them. And that's why I kind of feel like why women don't be jacking. Let me get what I can from this nigga because niggas out here begging.
That's true. There's a lot of Keith Sweats out here. I give you that.
So y'all niggas is munching. But this shit catchy as hell though. I ain't gonna hold you, bro. After I listened to it a few times now, it randomly pop. Oh, you thought I was feeling you? That nigga a month. I ain't gonna hold you that shit.
It sounds.
You already know. You already know my boy Drake. You already know my boy Drake. Sniper Gang. Enough. If you know, you know.
Whatever.
You know.
Nigga, go to the song of the week, you sicko.
All right, here's our song of the week. If you are listening to this on YouTube, please exit and go to your favorite streaming platform, whether that is Audio Mac, SoundCloud, Stitcher. Stitcher actually and Pandora actually merged together and created Simplecast. So go listen to Simplecast. We are on there officially now. whatever the favorite streaming platform you have, and go listen to us. And if you want, you can go to our website and go to our Apple Music playlist and to listen to our previous song of the week. What's your song of the week this week, brother? Right. So that was our song of the week. You can go to our website and go click on our Apple Music playlist to listen to our previous song of the week. But that's not what you're here for. You're here for the people's choice, the people's favorite, Slick. Drop it.
I can be toxic, but so what? You gonna love it here. Shit, fuck is you talking about? We have fun over here. It's very fun here.
And it's fun indeed. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the TSA, the Toxic Service Announcement. And this week, and this week we are joined by a special guest, Domo.
What's up, guys? How's it going?
And Domo, you have your own podcast. Plug it in.
I do. My podcast is called Hashtag Let's Talk About It. And Hashtag Let's Talk About It pretty much surrounds mental health and spirituality, all things mental health, all things spirituality. It's pretty much a space where, we come together and we talk about things where, we don't often talk about mental health and spirituality out in the open, especially when it comes to mental health. So I kind of create a space to talk about things that, we're afraid to talk about out in open and in public. So kind of bringing awareness to mental health.
Well, you came to the right place.
Did she?
I don't know. This might have to come back and be an episode on mine after this one, depending on how this conversation goes.
Well, this is a perfect space to for your mental health. We gives you guidance. This is a safe space, free of judgment. So, me, you're cool, and you came to me during an event about a certain situation. So the floor is yours. You can introduce the TSA topic for this episode this week.
Okay, so long story short, we came to you, right? We had a conversation about, exclusivity, right? What does that look like, right? For some people, we want to date, right? And meet multiple people so that you get to know them, which is kind of the norm, right? But then you have individuals like me who would rather talk to one person at a time, right? And date that way. And then, we go about it. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But talking to multiple people at the same time, that's hard for me, right? That's just not my type of cup of tea, regardless of the time that it takes. So, I've been dating this individual who essentially is long distance, right? And for me, I've been, struggling with the whole long distance thing because, not being with someone in the physical, right? Being able to have them, as often and as close as you would like to, that often can become difficult. So, I oftentimes have this toxic trait where, I can self-sabotage and, something's not right or I feel like something's up. I have this trait where it can be flight or fight or flight, right? And often I'll do the flight. So, I had to open up and have this conversation about exclusivity, right? And where these traumas were coming from. Why was I being so triggered by this long distance relationship by someone who we haven't had the conversation about, exclusivity, but we've been talking for 4 months, right? And for me, I feel like that is, it's not a long time, but it's a long time. It's a long time. It's not a long time, but it's time.
But also you forgot a major thing. Usually you're the one person type of individual, but you expressed to me that you're more open to dating more people.
I am, but the dating pool today,
trash.
It's yes.
So
Yes.
Slick. So yes. I know Dom pretty well, and she never had a quote unquote whole face even through college.
My condolences.
She's been in a relationship bound woman.
There's nothing wrong with that. I think that going back to your topic of exclusivity, I think that the conversation, first of all, has to be had with the gentleman. I think that because I'm a relationship guy. As much shit as Brian probably talks about me behind my back. I am at my best. I operate my best in a relationship. But when I'm single, and I'm single
Fair.
until I see somebody.
When he's single, when he's single, my boy's slick.
Yeah, because what does that look like?
I'm gonna tell you.
My boy's slick.
Right.
I'm
call him Henny Law for a reason.
I'm gonna be totally transparent. I'm gonna be totally transparent.
Had this one joint on the counter.
Nah, see, we're not doing that.
I'm gonna tell that whole story. It's fine. You told it on this podcast before. But nah, like if I'm single, I'll say I'm single till I'm not, in terms of like if I see something that I really like and we're dating and I'm talking, like I'm gonna communicate like, all right, look, I might be outside or we might be trying to figure this out, but I see something with you. And I really want to know if you see it too. Because if you tell me you do, then that exclusivity kind of kicks in a little bit to the sense where it's like, all right, well, I'm not going to be out here wild and overly entertaining if I know that we're working towards something. Versus if we don't. Go ahead.
Is that conversation being initiated by you because you are at a point where you feel like now we can move forward into something? Or like, is this off rip? Like, this is you let them know your intentions. Like, you know, I am a relationship kind of guy. I only want to date. Like, how does that conversation come about?
It depends on the vibes.
Domo, real quick. Domo, we had this talk, and I told you that is women's number one problem with dating. They never want to have that awkward conversation.
Yeah.
But I think
letting them know what is this of not wasting my time.
Yeah.
But I think it's a reason for that, though, and I think it's a valid reason for that, right? I think that men and women just work on two different timelines, right? And oftentimes we might fear having that conversation based on probably feeling like you guys may not be where we are.
All right.
Right. And if that, I feel like we often move faster. So I don't know. I'm a 50-50 on that.
This might not go well for a gender that thinks of them as the prize and the catch. Yeah, sure don't treat yourself that way.
I disagree.
If the way that how women are talking in today's society about being the catch and stuff, why when it's time to delegate what is exactly going on or setting the boundaries, it's so tough to do. As a guy, and I'm breaking guy code about this, is if you allow a guy to not have any boundaries, a guy is not going to set it unless if that's what he really wants.
So, but is that safe to assume that that's every guy though, right?
No. And when we talk, we're not saying everything.
Okay.
There's some guys who are clear cut, depending on your age group. You might not be one of the date. Like I know me right now, I can't even do the whole multi-dating thing, especially because I ain't trying to spend all that bread, especially because I want to go to pals.
It's not that difficult.
You know, y'all want to go to catch steak. You don't even know if you like your steak medium rare or not.
No, the problem is that men aren't as creative. And you know, I think that's where the whole money part comes in. Oh yeah. I feel like that's exactly what it is. I don't think it has to.
But to go back to the question is, y'all do not want to set the standard because y'all have a fear of rejection. Y'all fear that if he doesn't want what I want, this is basically over. And it is tough. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh yeah, it's such an easy thing to do, but you have to have those awkward conversations.
Absolutely.
You have to, because then at that point, you can't sit here and claim he wastes your time or anything. It's because you practically waste your time by not asking. And I think the mark that you're in right now, because granted, I'm not asking you in the first couple of dates, what are we or what is this type of stuff? You shouldn't, because you could scare someone without.
Of course, it's
but
great.
definitely before this, close to the 6 months marker. Hey, because I know some other homegirls who gives a guy a year. We were like, yo, we can date and do all this, but in a year, yo, you're gonna have to establish what we're doing here. Are we gonna continue this title wise anything? And that's why I've been telling women like, yo, after 6 months or so, if the homie is not trying to give you a title or anything, mama,
it's not happening.
It's not it.
It's not happening. Exactly.
It's not it,
mama.
And that's where
Hey, time out. Y'all waiting 6 months to figure shit out. Y'all both tweaking.
Nah, honestly,
y'all tweaking.
6 months is
Wait,
too long.
what's the timeline for you?
I'm with you.
If I like you,
right.
I'll tell you after 3 dates what I'm trying to do.
Whoa.
That's honest.
No,
but see, I think there's nothing wrong with that, right?
Yeah.
I feel like this is a person who's intentional, right? They don't want to waste no time. They're not trying to waste no one else's time. And then making it clear cut. And then at that point, that other individual can decide whether or not this is for them after those 3, 4, 5 days, right? And then he can proceed to do as he so chooses. So I'm like that, but some people get scared.
And that's fine.
Wait. So let me ask a quick question, Slick. And it's 3 dates.
I said it could be 3 days.
What's the timeline?
I said it could be 3 days. I didn't say it. But if you got, remember,
Yeah,
we've had this conversation on the podcast before. And I said, because we're not just dating, we also are talking, we're texting, we're having conversations. So 3 dates, but we also could have been, the 3 days could happen over the course of a month or two. And you're still talking. If you're talking every day, we vibing like that, I'm like, yo, of course I'm going to make you my girlfriend. Because I'm going to tell you the truth about me. The longer I talk to somebody without a clear intention, that could just be somebody I'm just talking to. So she might be thinking one thing, and I'm like, oh, we never talk about what it could have been.
That's crazy.
You gave me opportunity.
That's crazy.
Said that, by the way. I just said that earlier.
I know, but that's crazy. That's crazy to me. It's like, is it not common sense? You're talking to someone every day, all day. You're FaceTiming, you're texting. Why do I have to clarify boundaries that I would hope that we are already on the same page about? Granted, a conversation needs to be had moving forward. We're going to be together. Not necessarily saying that to be a title. Exclusivity, but I mean, why should I have to jump to feel like I have to have that conversation now when I feel like we're on the same page?
He could jump, but he could jump too. But it's just a matter, because think about it. If you both want Allie, y'all scared to take that leap, you're just going to let whatever happen and flow. You giving somebody more of a lane to change their mind. It's like, oh, well, this person, we kicking it. Well, because my thing is, once I say I'm kicking it with you, that's
all it is.
That's all it is.
Because
at the point, the moment where I was willing to like go there with you early on, where it's like, all right, we own it up. Now it's a little bit tougher for me, because now it's 6 months. It's probably more baggage that's being brought into it. And that's why I say, for me, once I rock with you, versus it's like, okay, well, we just been texting, chilling. Because texting could fade out. I've been in a situation with somebody, we texted for a month long, and it was just, we never established what it was. And it's like, all right, well, damn, we not really doing nothing. You feel me?
Yeah, and also it also helps me govern myself when I'm outside.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Now, if we don't establish what it is, and I don't have no boundary, what makes you think I won't meet a girl that I find dope as well?
Or shorty, transparency moment. This happened to me in college. Me and this girl, we was real close, but we never really established. Man, we put parameters on like, oh, we're gonna be together in the future. This other girl applied pressure, and I wasn't thinking nothing of it, but she told me what her intentions was with me. And it was like, as we started kicking it, it was like, oh shit, I like you too, type shit. And it's like, oh, I could see me doing this. And I didn't want to hurt the other girl, but it became like, yo, I'm gonna do what's best for me. What seems intentional versus like, all right, we just biding our time with this other situation, hoping that it becomes what it becomes. And
that because the other
we don't
other
want
girl
that.
didn't have no boundary.
Yeah.
So if the other girl told him like, yo, we're gonna be
you're mine.
Yeah, you're mine.
And Shorty was
even if he meets the other girl, he most likely probably won't even try to have an in-depth conversation to the point where she will confirm and apply pressure.
Yeah,
so that's
like it wasn't going
with the whole having awkward conversations.
Yeah, you got to talk about it, because it's like once you put in somebody, they know, because then they can determine what they want out of it. You feel me? So that's the reason why if I like you, I'm intentional, because I'm gonna tell you what it is. And if you tell me you're not on that type of time, all right, cool. Then it's like, if you just want to kick it or whatever, or we just cut it off because my feelings involved, that's fine with me, because I already established my point. I can move on and know, all right, cool. I did like Shorty. I do like Shorty, but she not on that type of time. I'm outside, or I'm trying to do my own thing. I'm, open to me.
But damn, but it's like you would really chat with somebody for 2, 3, 4 months. But just chatting, just cause you don't like, you're not trying to go.
But it's not
that makes no sense
as a man, and I think like, some women do it too. It's like, you can talk to somebody and be like, all right, cool. Well, this ain't nothing. No matter, and it's like, I'll put it this way: a third party could read this and be like, oh, that's your girlfriend, that's your boyfriend. And be like, nah, that's not it.
Right,
like, we cool.
Right.
Like, we kicking it. Like, it's like, that's just the mindset of it. So like, even if your next partner could find out, oh, you had this, like, oh, what the fuck is, oh, that's my homeboy. Nah, these look a little suspect. Like, nah, like at the end of the day, it was never nothing. Like, it was like,
that was nothing, because we was just chatting, never had a conversation.
Yeah, we hung out. It never went nowhere. That's what it comes out as. It never went nowhere. So that's why you have to have those conversations, in my opinion. And like, be intentional. I think the people in my life that are in relationships right now, all of them were intentional with their partners early on. From the male perspective too. Like, the guys was like, yo, I like you. I'm not even trying to be on no bullshit. Like, yo, like, You say the word. That's what I told my girl. I was like, yo, you say the word early on. I was like, you say the word. It's this shit. All this other shit in my phone is dead.
It's gonna be dead.
It's gonna be dead.
Oh man, when he had to hang up his jersey, man.
But that's real shit.
A celebration.
And if she would have said no, all right, cool. I take that to the chin. If we cool, I'm moving forward.
But this goes in the talk that, okay, this is a generalization, so women don't kill me on this. That women don't do well, don't have rejection that often compared to guys. So they're kind of scared of being rejected because it kind of makes them feel, and you can disagree with me, Domo, that you possibly don't think that you're good enough. It could be some self-worth and all that other stuff, but y'all don't deal well with rejection because most of the time y'all being pursued, y'all not doing the pursuit.
Exactly. I'll be honest to say that as a woman and, my history, that I will agree with that. I've never really been I've always been pursued, right? I've never been in a situation where I feel like I've been rejected. So damn, I just can't do this no more. Like I have the fear because essentially it's all been absent, right? It's been absent of me having that ability to be the pursuer. That's just never, been a thing. But I think also the fear just comes off of, you really liking someone, right? You really feeling like you have this connection, this build with somebody, and that they ultimately might not feel the same way. Now, that doesn't say that I'm gonna keep this going and not have that conversation, but maybe that I should wait. Well, I'm not saying I should, but maybe that I can wait until that 6-month mark, because essentially that's what I was going to do, right? But long distance, that definitely is heavy, right? It plays a big part compared. This conversation will be completely different had this person been in a state, right?
Yeah, that's why I agreed with the 6 months with your situation, due to the fact that it is long distance. So it's not like y'all seen each other almost every other weekend, to really build up that bond.
Right.
And you're a busy person. You do a lot. You feel me? You getting that money.
You
feel me?
But wouldn't you feel more reassured just knowing y'all was on the same page? So this way you could move a little even more freely instead of having to think of keep these, because these thoughts weigh on your mind. Even if you say you go another 2 months with this, but you still wondering, is at 6 months what changed? Because that's a question.
So a little insight. So I want to say a couple months ago, I was definitely triggered. And of course, past traumas, I sometimes often have issues related to trust, right?
Absolutely.
And so, there was an incident and, I was a little triggered and I felt like I needed to have a flight moment, right? And instead of him kind of running away from it, he was, he kind of supported, he stepped up to it. And he was like, yo, like, I'm rocking with you. I'm rocking with you until I say otherwise. Like, this is what I am doing with you. Like, and it kind of kept the whole reassurance. It was never really an official conversation, but he was throwing things out there that he's never said before, right? So this kind of kept me feeling like, all right, I'm probably overthinking, being overly anxious, right? Creating all these crazy thoughts that's probably not even a thing, right? And that this person probably is essentially on the same page as me, but essentially because, again, the distance, what is this person probably doing? He's like 3 hours away. Like it's a lot that goes into building that
trust
connection essentially and trust to then have that conversation, right? I don't never want to feel like I'm wasting. Being in a long distance relationship, that's an investment, right? Like you are investing your time and money essentially into trying to make this work, going back and forth and the whole nine. So I think for me, I just really wanted to be sure, right? I'm not taking these 5-hour trips to DC every other weekend, and this is not really even a thing, right? My time is being wasted. He's not really into the relationship like I'm into the relationship, but I don't really get those vibes. It really just comes down to, all right, now are we at the point where we've kind of established this for the past 4 months. We've been consistent, right? We've kind of established we are on the same page, but we really haven't officially had that conversation. It's been more so comments and, things like that.
Gotta rip that Band-Aid off. Like
I know. I know.
That Band-Aid off.
Definitely gotta rip the Band-Aid off.
We would have had this conversation at 2 months. I'd have been like, all right, had a conversation. Because you don't want the gray area. You don't want look, bro. I do the relationship shit. As the relationship guy on the podcast, you leave room for gray area. You leave room for error. And shit be fun till it's not. I'll put it that way. Until you put in a compromising position where you got to answer to some shit or answer a question that might go against your mindset. Or you know what? Even better. This is a classic because men and women use this shit when they get put in this position where it's like, all right, well, what we doing type shit. Oh, I ain't know I couldn't do that. Or I didn't think it was that big a deal. because you don't have those
You
conversations.
didn't have a conversation.
So it's like you could be as mad as you want, but if I never asked you or we never established that, I leave room for error that might intrude on my trauma. And it might not intrude initially if you have the conversation in 6 months and y'all decide to be a couple. But then what if you find out something that the person did at 6 months at month 5 while y'all thought you was all peachy keen? That's happened to me in the past. I've done that to women in the past.
Wow, don't put that in the air.
No, but I'm being like, but those are real conversations. It's to the point where like what I got with my shorty now, like early on, I was intentional and I brought my bound. Like you got to make yourself vulnerable. You got to bring your vulnerability to the table. Like, yo, this is where I've been in the past. I know where you've been in the past. These are my traumas that I've come with. I'm coming to you as a man that wants to be with you, and this is what it is. Type shit. And did she automatically grasp it? No, but she appreciated that, and it allowed us to kind of to move forward and grow with it. So even if something backtracked and came up, if I wanted to get upset, I had every right to, because I came to you and we were communicating.
Got on the same page,
and vice versa. If something came up with me,
set a boundary.
Yeah, and if something came up for me, it's like, yeah, you're right. I'm totally wrong, and that we can work on that. But that's why I say I think you guys should have the conversation. I don't believe in like all those times. I'm not gonna not unless you're saying like I love you after the first date. That's some wild shit. That's some movie. But
you just Haitian. You just Haitian when you do that. Yeah. You know, Haitian niggas be saying I love you. I want to marry you.
That's that 90. That's that 90 Day Fiance type shit. But in terms of intentionality and fear, I think that especially now, like you said, the dating game is trash. I think that there's a lot of frivolities and a lot of nuance that shouldn't be in the conversations of dating today that is there, unfortunately, for reasons we don't have to get into right now. And I think that you kind of have to be intentional just to show people show that person you're not playing. I think that at the end of the day, what somebody wants to know, regardless of how they're moving, is that they're special to somebody and that, that their time will be honored. Because it's like, go ahead.
I was going to say, because something like that kind of happened like month 2, where I was like, all right, I felt like he wasn't really being as consistent. And, I had to essentially, not saying put my foot down, but essentially let him know what it is. Like, essentially I am a person who's very intentional about my time. Right. So the in and out, the spurring conversations, like every so often, like that doesn't work for me. And so when I started to kind of back away, I didn't speak to him for maybe a couple of days. And then he came back, hit me, like called me actually. And was like, all right, so like, let me know what happened 5 days ago when you was in your move, right? How can we move forward so that does not happen again, right? I don't want you to feel like X, Y, and Z, but this is me in my head thinking all these things are happening, right? But he on a completely different page in DC. Like we on 2 different pages as far as me thinking he's being distant, but him just being him, right? It's not personal. So a lot of that really goes into, again, being long distance and then being sure that you even want to have that conversation. So I am definitely going to have it soon. I'm going to wait until next week when, we are face to face. It's definitely a conversation I don't want to have over text and, have that over phone call. But we'll see where that goes.
Yeah, and then just a piece of advice: just be comfortable with the outcome. Just be comfortable with the truth. Matter of fact, not the outcome. Be comfortable with the truth. Whether if he wants what you want or he doesn't. Just be comfortable with that, and at least you are aware. You're not living in that gray area. Now you can make the proper decision. You can either, hey, this was good, but hey, this is what I want. I'm gonna go find it somewhere else. Or hey, maybe in the future you might be wanting it. We can continue this, but then you have a clearer path of where you want to go with this. And I think like what Slick said, I think all of us in the dating game want that. To have to be clear, because I feel like in the dating game now it's so much haziness, and you're like you never know what the other person is, and you don't want to get played, so you try to have one up. So you trying to have at least something back up, to guard yourself. And as long as you know what it is, I think it should be good.
That's fair, yeah. And I'll normally leave before I feel like somebody trying to play me, but that just comes.
But I want to touch on something. I want to touch on something else. But you always used to be a one-person dating type of woman. Mm-hmm. You would never do the whole multiple dating just to see what's out there.
So I feel like that essentially, so me being self-aware, right? I feel like that essentially could be one of my downfalls, right? And that essentially I could be putting myself in a box. I could be closing myself off to essentially possibly finding my person if this person is not my person, right? Mm-hmm. Possibly finding someone out there by closing myself off to not, exercise the opportunity of talking to, and when I say talking, right, when we talk about dating, like it's so much that goes into dating. I'm talking more so of getting to know someone, right? Because let's be honest, that takes a lot of mental capacity, right? That takes a lot of mental space for you to really dig, dive, spend time, and get to know someone. So to do that across the board with multiple people, yes, it gets very tough. However, I could possibly find myself to be in a situation where I find someone who meets my interests, right? And my, whatever it is, my expectations and this whole jazz, while I'm kind of stuck on somebody, I'm trying to figure out, can I move past the red flags? Right. So it's definitely an up and down thing. I want to say, when it comes to it, I'm not opposed, but I'm also scared, right? Because like I said, I'm a lover girl. So if I'm gonna put my heart out there, it's gonna be, I'll give you my all. Like it's an all or nothing for me kind of thing. Right. So I can't, if I'm going to show you attention and all this other stuff, it's going to be very hard for me to do that with somebody else. So I don't know. I feel like I'm still young, right? I have all this time left to go. So it's definitely no rush in finding my person, but it does suck when, you're often being pursued. And, that's also something else too. Maybe I should step out of the box and be the pursuer sometimes, right? Yes. And not always.
Preach that.
I'm not finding the person because they're picking me instead of me essentially going out for what I'm looking for, right? Being in spaces where I am intentional about the people who I want to attract and all these things. So I've been very self-aware when it comes to this dating. It don't make it suck any less because it still sucks. But, I think just when you're self-aware individually, it kind of helps with the process, but it don't make it any easier because of the individuals. So you're always going to bump and get into something. Never fails. It just never fails.
You gotta look at it like a game. You gotta do it like For the Love of Ray J, like Flavor of Love. That's how you gotta treat it. Just process of elimination. I'm dead ass.
Process of elimination.
That's when I'm single. That's how I'm probably giving too much insight to my narcissism a little, but that's how I look at it. Like, because it's like, you think about it. When you're dating is multiple people, right? So you're gonna kick it, and when you're dating, let's be honest, a lot of times, a couple people getting there that's not supposed to. you kicking
very,
it.
Very true.
So it's kind of like, all right, cool.
That's what you're talking to. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like you going to talk to like, man, what's a good number? B 5?
Yeah,
say like 5.
3,
right?
I mean, for guys, usually it's 3 to 4.
That's crazy.
Then, wait, hold on. For women,
it's not because you got to think about it.
With women, it's a whole.
That's not okay.
Because not
all. Show you that got 10 niggas on her roster right now. Vetting them.
I'm about to say,
but we look,
and that's the thing, and it's like it's different levels to it. Because think about it,
exactly,
it's different.
Exactly. Go ahead.
And there's different levels to it. Because it's for women, you got the one that you like, that you shouldn't like. You got the old one that's been around for a minute, and then you got dudes that's providing services, like they paying for shit, they taking you out to eat. Mm-hmm. To a guy, that means those niggas is on your roster. For us, it's like, all right, it might be one we like or our old team that we rocking with. And it might be a new joint that popped up that we met out somewhere. And then you get to that 3 to 5 because like, it's like a miscellaneous John or some maybe a coworker or maybe somebody you just you know from around the way. And then you got the cool shorty that you met that's just like on some regular, like maybe we knocking it down, maybe we just like hanging out with each other type stuff.
That is a lot. But
that's I just literally named
we gave you a.
I named like 6. I named like 6. But think about that. The same way you say that. I guess this is like this is why these conversations are so powerful when we do this pod. It's because like if you were to tell a guy you were talking to, say it was a different situation, you would have told him, oh yeah, I have a roster, but there's a guy that takes me out and I still talk to my ex, and it's like, whoa, hold on, abort mission. So the same way it's us having 3 to 4 possibly. For you guys having 6 to 10, it's a lot either way.
All right, the water number gotta be bigger, but
because women are more women are more prone to go out with somebody just for the sake of what they can do. A lot of guys aren't necessarily getting with a woman that could do something for them outside of, be a flex, if that makes sense. Either a flex or some form of satisfaction.
Yeah, and
a lot of times,
satisfaction part.
A lot of times,
also,
a lot of times, the satisfaction
women
part
are being pursued.
Yeah, and a lot of times that satisfaction part, you're not bringing satisfaction outside. I'm gonna link her after I go out with the one I enjoy hanging out with.
That's valid. That's valid.
That's
And I understand that. But again, I feel like the needs and the wants from the men and the woman makes the dating experience different, regardless. And I feel like them two, you can't compare the two because of the social norms, expectations. Just what's a thing, and I put that in quotations. Whatever this dating, how it's supposed to look like for men and women, what we want a man to do for us, what y'all want a woman to do for. Like I feel like it's not the same.
I think
I don't think you can compare the two.
I feel like that's not the same because it's different traumas. I think trauma shapes what you want or what you say. What the general woman wants in a man is based on the collective. A lot of times, based on the collective trauma that a lot of women have gone through and had to share that pain with each other. So, and same thing for men, especially like in this current age. It's like a lot of what men say they want is based on the collective trauma that we're all sharing in because somehow, some way, society became this big ass shared interweb. But it's like, yo, that's not how your experience is your experience, my experience is my experience. You like what you like, I like what I like. We don't all have to like the same thing, or if not, we're gonna go after the same person. That's weird.
Very true.
So
Very true.
That's why a lot of dudes are going after girls who shape like Bugs Life, and a lot of women are fucking with fat niggas as scammers. You know what I mean? So
it's all aesthetic.
Hey, it's still the TSA. It's still the TSA.
Crazy.
We still gotta get toxic. We know we're having a good therapy session, but hey,
I mean, I think that's a good part of therapy though too, because it's like, yo, how do you compete with the nigga that's going to drop 10 stacks on you? I was on TikTok the other day, and this dude was like, don't move to Atlanta. The first line was like, because ladies, your man going to be in the club. Our teachers look like Instagram models. But then he went for the girls. He was like, yeah, you live in the high rise with the athletes and the rappers. They buying you shit. I'm like, yeah, as a man, that's detrimental to my mental health. I'm like, damn. So it's not enough to be a good man no more. I got to also worry about niggas buying you shit.
Right.
Things like how do you compete with that? Because it's like,
you feel like you always got to be at a certain caliber for a woman. Yeah, I feel like you always got to be up there when it comes to pursuing.
Yeah, it's like, damn, what makes me better than this nigga?
and in reality, not a lot of people can access those things without doing something illegal. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but see, but this is also coming from a person who I'm not looking at the bags and the money. I'm looking for somebody who's emotionally available. Right. And that oftentimes is something that women, especially like me, who struggle, not even say struggle, we don't find often, at least women like me, right, who do got great things going for themselves, good head on their shoulders, finding someone who is emotionally available. And normally when it comes to men, that is less than how we carry and have it. So I think that is a big part of it too, right? If you're not emotionally available, but you have a woman who's okay with that and they just want the bags and the money for you to take them on expensive dates and stuff, then that's okay with them. I think, hell, she probably emotionally unavailable too.
Domo, one thing. The problem that you're talking about is women like you stay inside. Y'all not outside for us to come get.
Not even that.
Y'all not outside.
I disagree with that.
I won't even say that.
We are not. I think that me and the type of man that I'm looking for, we're not in the same spaces. I think that is what it is. Like, we're not finding each other because we're not in the same spaces. I can't be with you hanging with everybody from UA at all these brunch spots, and I'm not gonna find my person there, right? I can't be going with you to these brunch spots in Brooklyn and Harlem on Saturday and Sundays, and I'm hoping to find my person.
Damn,
like, that's
Brian,
just not going to happen.
Outside.
I need to step out.
Wait,
I know.
I need
to go to galleries and museums. Hold on.
How did this come back to me over here? I haven't touched a brunch spot.
I'm just saying
because the audience.
I'm just saying in general.
This is a thing that the audience is going to play on me.
But you be outside though, yes, Brian, because you do be outside.
I do not be outside. You only saw me one time this summer. No, 2 times. And those are 2 family occasions. Okay. I have not been outside.
Okay. Brian, you're known to, but I feel like essentially you are someone known to be outside. And that's just period. Like, I feel like anybody who knows you, who has you on social media, you just are that individual. And there's nothing wrong with that. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Well, Domo, you have to go. You have to go to your service. It was a pleasure having you.
We're gonna talk.
You kick her off the pod, bro. Right? That's crazy.
Women like me gotta go to museums and go to freaking galleries and going to, not saying it has to be necessarily upscale, but being in spaces where it allows men, you guys, and also me to think. right? I don't want to, I mean, we can find our person anywhere, but I think being intentional about where we go to find these people is important. Because like I said, just summertime vibe and stuff no, a person like me who likes to be inside or like to do those low key kind of activities and stuff like that, you feel me? That is essentially what's going to guide me. But I can't be popping out with you and then expecting to find my person. You're not going clubbing and partying.
I don't want to pop out nowhere. I'm inside. I'm inside, first of all.
In defense of the summer bunnies, I think
I've been inside. You haven't seen me at no brunch.
Oh, you're going to live this down. You're not going to live this down.
And I don't appreciate you coming to the platform and spreading lies about me.
No lies, Brian. It's the truth, and that's okay. And I think there are still women who have great head on their shoulders, and they like to be social and be out like that. That's completely okay. But you know, I don't. But I am self-aware to the point where I notice that I do need to sometimes step out of my box and outside of my comfort zone and be in spaces that allows me to be more sociable and sometimes pushing myself too. However, again, the type of men that I am looking for and need, I feel like they're not going to be at your local brunch spot on a Saturday morning
in defense
with the DJ turning up with you. I just don't.
In defense of those men, a lot of them have not been in situations where they've been allowed to show that side, or they've had to suppress that side. So a lot of times it comes down to sometimes it's a little bit of work to get them to unlock that. And I think that's something else you can't shy away from. Men too going after women. Like, you want the woman that's into the artsy stuff, you got to allow them to unlock that. Because again, you're getting all this negative stimuli about where you're supposed to be outside. But it's like, yo, you're not really finding too much fun. You might find fun outside, but you might not find the one outside. So you got to allow them to unlock that.
I agree with you. I just want to reiterate, I haven't been outside at all this summer. I haven't gone nowhere.
It depends on how you pull up.
Nothing.
It depends on how you pull up on something too. If I pull up on you at a party, I'm like, all right, I'm probably expecting party type vibes.
I haven't gone to no party.
Right.
Versus if I pull up on you if I see you at I don't know, I'm at a luncheon or something like that, or I see you at a conference or even at the music, you got
no hoes.
You have a different perception than meeting me at the club or a party.
Checking for me out here.
Oh gosh,
you really are triggered.
I'm just messing around. I gotta add some entertainment around this. I could say the road knows where I be at. You feel me? You could catch me
on your Instagram story
doing God's work, doing community service, the necessity campaign, giving back to the community as the good Christian person that I am.
On Monday through Friday, where you at Saturday and Sunday?
At your local
Harry Potter store, living my dreams of being a wizard. That's
at your local Brooklyn brunch spot.
I'm not at your Brooklyn spot yet. I don't even know what's hot no more. I haven't known what's hot. And all times I've been outside, you was right next to me. Don't do that.
Okay.
All right, but I know you have to go because you're a big sister.
Oh gosh.
So Domo, thank you once again.
Thank you
once again for joining us. I'm plugging your podcast again so they can go find you, and I'll add your in the description so y'all can go follow her. If you're a good guy who's willing to,
Not right now. Right now, she still got something.
Oh yeah. In 2 months. In 2 weeks.
I'll come back. Yes, we're gonna come back in 2 weeks after the conversation, and then we'll go from there. We might have to do another broadcast. Okay. We might have to.
Plug it in.
Hashtag Let's Talk About It. Instagram is @TheLoveShe_. The love she gives.
Ooh, I like that.
Tune in.
We don't always get toxic in our TSA. We do some therapy too, so we'll get the updates regarding the situation. But like I said, you can follow us on all social media. This might not go well. If any branded deals, business opportunities, please email us at thismightnotgowell@gmail.com. I'm the host with the most, Brezzy, aka Poppy Sazon.
It's your boy Slick Grayson. We out of here, y'all. Be good.
Try to tell them we up next, you can't stop that. This your favorite podcast. Every show is lit, baby. You know what we finna do. Slick gon' talk that slick talk, he gon' get political. Okay. Do not switch topics, niggas is toxic. Poppy shots don't always saying something wrong, but if you don't like it, what we saying, nigga, oh well. We try to tell you, baby, this might not go well. This might not it. One take. We're not even doing it again. Keep that. That's the one.